Hey everybody, my name is May, and this past summer, under Divine Times Collective, I hosted the Festival of Grounded Souls in this park that I'm in right now, Herbert Von King Park and Bedstuy. Just in general, I would say any event hosted by Divine Times Collective has the intentions of inner child healing and are centered around play, curiosity, just being able to move at a slower pace and connect with people on a deeper level if that's something that people are open to. As someone who's been an educator before, or, I'm at the beginning of my journey, and so far what I've learned is that play is really important to a child's development socially, but also cognitive. It's important to cognitive development, physical development, and one could even argue that most, forms of like sports and activities that we have and do as adults are a direct descendant of play. A lot of people don't get that opportunity to play as a kid, or things happen where maybe they're playing, but when they would engage in play, they would receive like negative feedback from the people around them. And that can really hinder your initiative and just different types of growth. Like all animals play and they don't stop when they become adults. Inner child healing is something that is a privilege to have the space and time to do. But that's essentially what it is. It's coming back to that childlike wonder and expressing yourself freely in ways that are uninhibited. And this festival was inspired by just wanting to create a bigger space. So we've been doing jams and nature-based workshops, but we could create a bigger space, and especially outdoors, where we could play and learn. We had local artisans from the city display their work. We had local musicians, Black queer musicians. We had a drawing nook. Here where I'm sitting now was the play area. We had hula hoops, we had double dutch, everything. It was just such a beautiful experience, and I couldn't be more grateful.
And why the world I'm what I am. So I am Mickey, and together with four lovely people, we have the Ma'ats. And so together we are Mickey Ma'at, and we make psychedelic soul fusion. And I would say that we have a lot of psychedelic sounds coming from our instruments, a lot of melodies, and nostalgic, I would say 60s, 70s style sounds. And then the soul kind of comes from the vocals and the lyrics and what we like to focus on consciously. I make music because it is inside of me, and I think everything is music, like even like background noise, and it's all music. And I think a musician or an artist is like, I can present this in a way where you see that, that feeling, or this, if you can hear that feeling, and all of these little pieces. But the reason why I pull them together is because not only my mind starts to do that, and I'm like, okay, this is cool for me, but it's a gift, like I said, to be able to show people this is what sitting outside on a Sunday morning feels like. This is what a purple sunset sounds like. I like to be able to do that, and I think in a way I am kind of synesthetic, because that's where it's coming from. Just feeling things and then turning it into something. But I realize it's an act of service, and it is my purpose. Even like, I know that I'm here to serve, and I think, in my personal opinion, I think all human beings are here to serve.
Becky from The Narcotic. I'll say when we're creating music, our intention is just to be like really free and to have fun.
Yeah.
To be explorative and like, you know, to be funny, sometimes to be weird, to be scary. And then as it progresses, you know, we get into the studio and we're recording, and then we're striving to create this like reflection of like the ideas that we had in our head initially. And so it's like very technical and very like, it's almost for me a little bit departed from the spiritual, like kind of like innate instinctual part. And then when it comes to releasing it, this is like literally it's about releasing. It's about just like putting it out, celebrating, celebrating that we did that, like we created a baby.
Yeah, with my own connection to music to deepen it. First, create more. I think I need somewhere it's a little more dilute and a little more where like I can go and breathe for a second. 'Cause here, from meeting so many people and doing so many things, it can be very fast paced. But I feel like for what goes inside my head is a lot more like tranquil, trying to keep things calm. And so to bring that out, I feel like I would need the environment to be that.
Yeah.
So heavy laughter softens the endothelium, the lining of our blood vessels. What are we talking about when we talk about heavy laughter? What are we talking about? We're talking about 15 minutes a day. You can do it in the morning before getting out of bed, or if you're a musician, in the afternoon before getting out of bed. The conscious co-creation are on your side today. The laws of conscious co-creation are on your side today.
I honestly have a good relationship with it where I view like my physical body to be the protector of that inner child. Before I would let people cross boundaries without any consequence. Now I'm saying to myself, I gotta have some self-respect. I say my BS meter went down, but my love went up because now I don't tolerate much.
Yeah.
So I can give so much more.
Period. That is beautiful. Yeah. And so, how are your favorite ways to nurture it?
How are my favorite ways to nurture it? Silence. Because like in my place, I have 3 windows. When I just open them and lay in my bed, I just look. And the trees are doing their thing, the birds are doing their thing, and when I quiet myself and I listen, I'm like, this is what a child feel like when they're with their dad or their mom. It's just quiet, they're chilling, and they're comfortable.
Yeah.
That's how I nurture it.
You know, really just being expansive, because children, or just being super hyper in the moment, in my opinion. And that is like thoughtless, the unintelligible version of yourself, accessing that at all times. And I guess really that depends on trusting yourself, I guess your innermost self.
Also, in addition to that, it's like I see curiosity as a big thing, because as a child you're always confronted with something new, and so it requires you to like explore and like be really daring and be like, you know, creative. And so the inner child is like a happy place, because I think about like the imagination, dreaming, and like all of that stuff.
Well, my inner child to me is like, again, honing in on that word nostalgia, being able to feel like I'm small, being able to feel like, you know what, life is not that serious right now, and it's about playing, and, you know, and being able to even surrender to, you know, the day. I like to be able to have that like wonderment. Also, that's my favorite thing about like children or myself, or that in other people, is like youth to me is childlike wonderment. What's that? Why? You know, like I love that, because a person like that is always learning and able to enjoy just the most simple things, and it's a more pleasurable outlook for sure.
So my inner child is, I feel like for me it means asking questions, and like I question everything, even if it's taken for granted. You know, things in science, things in music, you know, things that like, you know, society might not deem as supposed to be going together, but I'm like, why not, you know? So certain music genres, you know, and being able to like just play around with things and question things and explore, that's really like essential to me. And when I hear inner child is, you know, what comes to mind. Outside of music, skateboarding, longboarding. So like New York, I feel like there's not really hills here in Brooklyn. But if you go to Queens, around Jamaica, Queens, like there are good hills down there. One time when I lived in Astoria, there were a couple of hills over there. But like I would bomb the hills and like blast music in my headphones, like to be free. I'm like just going down the hill, you know. I had some moments, but you know, that's one way. It's where I'm like sort of free. Just like it's like another way of embracing, you know, my inner child. I feel like that's always gonna be there. And like, you know, those things you grew up doing. It's just like I never really let go of them. Like, oh, I used to skate when I was younger, you know, or I used to do this when I was younger. People always say that, but I'm like, I'm still doing those things. It's just like it's fun.
Shout out to Taya for creating the festival guest book where people wrote down their names, how they nourished their inner child, and attached it to this tapestry. So Paul said, I say what's on my mind, and that's real. Frankie said finger painting. Someone said swinging on the swings in the park. Same. Someone said wearing yellow. Devin said blowing bubbles. Someone said I play, cry, indulge my sweet cravings, and rest. Rahi said shaking my booty like no one's watching for just so many beautiful contributions that made this an amazing guest book, and I'm so grateful that I can just keep this in my home forever and cherish the memories and just always tap into that feeling that I had the whole day of the festival. Truly so grateful. I feel like this guest book just encapsulates the beautiful energy that we had.